Welcome to another project management show. And as usual, we are always bringing the project professionals in this show to give the perspective about the what should be the what you should learn from the project and how you should deliver the projects and so on. So, like any other show, today also we have a guest, and today's guest is none other than but the COO of the very well reputed group Kolte-Patil, and I'm very fortunate to bring him on this show. So, welcome,
Thank
Mukesh.
you.
So, Mukesh, as you know, he has a huge experience in the construction real estate space, and I would like to give him the I would request Mukesh just to give his profile and more than me. So I request Mukesh to please speak on that. Thank you.
Thank you for having me over. Hi, all. This is Mukesh Jaitley. Been into this profession or field for over 30 years now. Worked with various developers. But let me tell you, my fundamentals grew strong when I worked for first 18 years of my career with a contracting company. And where your fundamentals and basics gets clear. 18 years too long, but I don't repent that because I'm putting all the knowledge to the best use in my current role. Currently, I'm working with Kolte-Patil developers as CEO of the firm, and entire operations fall under me, which is from say drawing board to the handover of the keys to the customers and see that the customers get the best product and they're happy about it.
Yeah, so in fact, you can see he has really very impressive profile, and you can go to his LinkedIn profile definitely. So since he has such a huge experience from real estate, first question I would like to ask Mukesh ji is about what are the critical success factors, or more than that, what are the critical challenges you are seeing in the real estate? So can you just throw some light on that?
Well, I can definitely say over 3 decades, the challenges have changed. From where when I started the career, we had a different set of challenges. Today, the challenges are quite different, though there are common factors. But to take you to the current challenges, those would be people would generally talk about resources, cash flow, and other stuff. What I would rather try to highlight is the availability of skill sets, the talents, and also the challenges coming in a way affecting the outflow of the drawings from the consultants, the architects, and the so on and so forth. Why I'm saying this is when I say there is a lacuna in the skill talent pool. If I'm expecting my architects, if I'm expecting my consultants to give me drawings on time and a better quality of drawings, they also suffer on the same count because they are not able to get the required talent. Similarly, on the execution front, the skill set available for getting the good work done through masons, through carpenters, through bar benders, it's becoming more and more difficult. With such a huge boom in our sectors, you know, throughout India, there are a lot of infrastructure work which are going on. Cities are mushrooming up. Existing cities are growing. The required skill sets are getting depleted, or there are short of hands, so to say, and there is a huge requirement for development of skill sets. So having said that, the entire it boils down to availability of skill sets, be it blue collar, be it white collar, be it on the engineering side or architectural side. So this is one of the key challenge what we are facing. Apart from this actually encompasses everything, because the delivery of drawings, the execution at the sites is all related, which is where your schedules are go wrong, and then it's a everyday struggle to keep up.
Perfect. I think so. That is like one of the challenge, as you mentioned, rightly mentioned, is the people management, because people is everything. They can make or break the project,
Yes.
as you rightly said. So, what are your ways of typically motivating the team members, whether it's a blue collared or whether it's a white collared manpower? So what are your ways? Can you just throw some light on that?
You use the correct word. It's a people management. It's no more that you're employing a contractor. In good old days, that you employ a contractor and you expect them to be at your beck and call. No, it's a collaborative world now. Your contractors are your team, part of your team, and you need to collaborate with each other to get the desired result. The motivation, let me take you back by about 3 years, when we all faced the pandemic, and which is where we actually realized the importance of having a good skill sets for execution in terms of resources working on site, the laborers, the migrant laborers who usually come to cities to work for us. We then we realized that how important it is to take care of them, and things which were previously ignored got the due importance. Something like hygiene, the place they stay, the kind of treatment we give them, the kind of environment we give to our labor force got prominence. And I hope that that continues. It's basically a human angle which we have to look at. Now, if I talk about contractors who are dependent upon these, workforce, we have to deal with our contractors as if they are our own team. It's no more the time that we can dictate. We have to involve them in the process. We have to see that they get all the their requirements are fulfilled. Majorly their requirement would be paying up their bills on time so that that cash flow is not affected. We cannot use our contractors as our financer to work for us, so to say. So I always tell my team members that you have to work along with the contractors, take them along, share your problems, understand their problems, and take the work forward.
Yeah, perfect. I think collaboration is the most important, and only through collaboration only the people can work. And one thing I think which when I used to work closely with Kolte-Patil, which I observed that you are taking a lot of care of laborers. You're one of the prominent area which I observed during that period, that you take a lot of care, like labor camp. You give a lot of thrust that they are staying in a good condition, and that's one of the motivation factor I think you are using to make the manpower more efficient.
Yes.
I do agree, it's not just you are talking, but I think you are following that also, uh, which is I do agree that motivation is much beyond talk. It is the action, and I think you are doing that. Another aspect is, I think, the communication between the team members or stakeholders is, I think, one of the most important element of any project. I would like to know that what kind of communication you follow while dealing with your own internal team members as well as the external stakeholders.
So,
So,
what we do at Kolte-Patil is, and which should be generally done across the sector, is that there should be a lot of communication between between the peers, between the team. There should be a lot of interaction by way of new teachings, new learnings can be imparted by holding classes or different, allow them to go to different seminars to learn new things, and then the sharing should happen. Now, since Kulte Patil, for example, works in three geography: Bangalore, Mumbai, and Pune, and we see that whatever knowledge imparting is happening goes across the group. And if a seminar is being held in Mumbai, because of the connectivity now, like we use Teams, Zoom, and everything, everybody is connected, whether they are there in person or not. Everybody gets the same knowledge and this thing. In fact, we have a cell where we also conduct, say, kind of short exams after the learnings, and see that the knowledge is updated, and
that's great.
that's a motivation factor. And by way of awards or gifts, we try to recognize the talent that way. Similarly, if we, as I mentioned earlier, if we talk of about our contractors and their workforce, we also try to impart training to them also, and without, and now with the skill development coming into play, we see that the skill development people come to our site. We take out 1 hour of our workforce, try to educate them, try to enhance their skills, and this there is no financial load on our contractors, that everything is borne by us. You just now mentioned about providing good facilities to workmen. Even that financial load is not put on the contractors. That is what we try to spend, and see that the kind of best facilities are available for the workmen, and so that even if one particular labor goes back to his native, and when he comes back, he should be more than willing to come back to the same fold, the same contractor, and at the same site for Kote-Patil, because he knows what he's getting into. Having said that, we are also HSC certified. We are certified for 14,000 triple zero one, 45,000 triple zero one again on HSC and safety and health hazard. So it's not the certification. We walk the talk on that.
Yeah, that's true. Because and one thing which I have observed while working with you is that you have a very structured way of communication. Like every day morning stand-up meeting, like
Absolutely.
toolbox meeting and weekly meeting, daily meetings, and very structured reviews which are happening. I think that is also one of the
Yes.
best way of communication. So I think that all are helping in executing the projects effectively. One more point I would like to ask you about is that you are handling such a large projects like Life Republic Township project and so many other projects. How you ensure that the tasks or the project milestones or project is completed on time? That what are the steps you follow to ensure that project is completed on time?
See, right, the more time spent on planning is makes your life easier on the execution side. So, whenever, say, for example, in Life Republic, we start a new sector, we there is a schedule which is for pre-construction. There is a schedule for during the construction, and also there is a schedule for post-construction, which is where along with the CRN team, when we hand over the apartments to the customers, even we try to do it in a time bound manner. So when we say planning, uh, we have tried to put a tat is turnaround time for each and every activity. For example, post OC, if there are, say, about 1,000 odd apartments to be given handed over to the customers, so we put a tat that we have, whether we have to do it within 60 days, 90 days, or we put a number that in first 30 days we should be able to hand over one third of the apartments, and next 60 days another, it should come to two-third, and at the fag end few apartments remain to be handed over for various other reasons beyond our control. So we try to put a tat, and as it is a regular practice for any project. Proper schedule is made. That schedule is made aware to the contractor also.
Right.
We try to buy in his thing, and accordingly he has to get the workforce, and we try to achieve our schedule. That's what we've been doing, and now with RERA, there is all the more reason to be
Right.
careful, in terms of delivery of the project, and there are challenges to achieve those, but maybe we work 48 hours in 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I agree that not just preparing the schedule is important, but aligning the all the team members,
Yes.
including the contractors, with that schedule is the key, because then only it will the things are possible to complete bang on time, and then converting that into small milestones and achieving those milestones. That is what is actually makes the huge difference in completing the project bang on time. Here, I would like to ask you that in any projects there are always uncertainties which are involved. Typically, what we call the in project management we call the risk management. Okay, so I'm very sure, and I see that you are specifically focusing on managing those uncertainties in a certain way. Can you give some more details about that?
Sure. As I mentioned right at the beginning, the uncertainties today are even from the getting required design and drawings from the consultant. So we have a system wherein we every week we do a consultants review meeting, which is majorly focused on the deliverables from the consultants. Can be from MEP consultant, can be from structural or from architects, and all anybody and everybody related to that project. We sit together and see the drawings are coming on time so that the work doesn't suffer at the site. And as regard other challenges or other things are there, what we do is because we are a large organization working across geographies. So right when we draw out our AOP for the particular financial year, what we try to do is we create a demand plan. That demand plan is requirement of materials from each and every site and each and every project, which is a comprehensive plan is made. This also helps in economy of scale, that what material at and how much is the quantum we need to buy over the year, so that we can get a good bargain out of it. And then we the deliveries are of course staggered as per requirement of each and every project. So the demand plans helps a lot, and it gives a almost a 360 view of what is the kind of spend we are going to do in a particular financial year, which also helps in our cash flow planning. And this also, for example, if you are buying a particular brand, that also gives the visibility to the supplier that this is the kind of quantum he's looking at, this is the kind of business he's going to have. So this also helps in a just in time approach for procurement of the material, so that we are not blocking our cash flow, and also ensuring that the materials are on site at
Correct.
a particular time. So this is really important. And as I said, when the schedule is also discussed with the contractors who are going to execute, then manpower planning also helps a lot in that way. So if these things are taken care of, then there are very little hiccups which might come. But also what we do at our end is that we track the market trend for a couple of materials, maybe for reinforcement steel, for cement, and cement directly relates to RMC, because now RMC is the only way we do the concrete. And for materials like aluminum, because we buy a lot of aluminum shuttering, or for windows. So keeping track of these materials price trend also allows us to when to buy the material and when not to buy. It's like a little stock market within our whole setup, that when to buy and when not to buy, and so that we are taking care of time and cash flow, and try to save money there. And this is how we progress as we go along.
Yeah, good to know that. Another point, like you mentioned, in one of the, I saw your interview, and you mentioned that a lot of data is getting generated. But then, if we can use that data effectively, then only it makes sense, because going into that data and avoiding the same mistakes again, or learning from that data, is that what makes the difference? So, can you just give more? Can you elaborate that point?
Absolutely. Now the current bunch of engineers who come out, most of them have a management background. They come from NICMA. They do MBAs and everything apart from. So they are more techno-commercial than what we were in our age. Uh, and data analytics is the key.
Correct.
For example, there are various tools to today in the market to monitor the quality. There was a time in good old days we used to walk up to each and every nook and corner of the project and see the defects and make a manual note out of it, and see that it got rectified and repaired. Now with phones and various other tools, you have a data which comes onto your laptop or computer, and you can present it in whatever format you want to do. But the point is, what is the use of that, having those numbers or the data, if you are not utilizing those numbers to improvise.
Correct.
So, a very small example. For example, if I have a set of 5 buildings and I have given it to 3 contractors for laying the tiles in those buildings. Now, how do we analyze the data? There might be non-conformities coming from all the 5 buildings. Now, say for example, my building A has the largest number of non-conformity, then building B or C or D. Then I have to analyze whether if I've given A and B building to one contractor and A is having more non-conformity than B, then probably the subcontractor of my contractor in A building is not performing his task good, and maybe the B subcontractor is doing a good job, or probably if the non-conformities are same, then probably the supervision at our end is lacking. So we have to drill down to the root cause, and we need to do the root cause analysis of the performance, how why certain thing is performing in certain way, and then try to rectify. If there is a lack of supervision at our end, we change that supervisor. If there is a consistent drawback on the contractors, subcontractor side who's actually laying the tile, then we change those contractors, and so on and so forth. And this can go for each and every item. For example, my A building waterproofing is done by A agency and with the same material and same brand. We're doing B building and there are instances of leakages while testing we observe. Then the workmanship is there error. Then we might change the contractor because the material is same, the laying pattern is same, the process is same. So we really need to look into. It's not that you blame square and squarely onto the contractor. It can be your own supervision which might be at fault also. So a lot of analytical data can be done. Same way when I explained when we track the rates of various materials in market, those data also give a trend. For example, there is an observation. If you the steel prices are lowest on a particular day of the week, so you can place orders on those days. A lot of things can be done, and there is no end to it. And
Correct,
it's all
correct.
permutation combination, and keep doing it.
Yeah, perfect. I think this is the very valid points, and one should learn from that. My last question will be for the project professional, aspiring project professionals, because you have reached to this position of CEO, so you must have done something different. Like that's why you are at this position. So, what the other engineers who can learn and what they should do something different so that they can also reach to that position, because everyone, it's a pyramid. Everyone can't reach to that position. So definitely, I would like to give something like what they should do something differently so that they can also be a good project professional and they can also reach to that position. So I think that is one of the most important point from this interview. I would like to know about from you.
So often I tell youngsters or the students who are still studying in college that it is not about reading books, appearing for exam and shutting the book and be done with it. Once you have entered a professional college after your 12th, you got into engineering. So which is where it's no more book and answer or question and answer. Your journey has started where every day is a learning, and learning not only from books. Learning can be by observation all around. And like if in certain courses you got implant training, the implant training is not a picnic. You go and learn there because you more you observe, more you learn. Now once and I would rather suggest that somebody who intends to go into designing, structural designing, then that person should work at least 2 years on site and then move on to the designing field. Correct. Because you understand the fundamentals on site. Somebody who intends to do, say, contracting, but he should be at least should have worked on site for 2 years, known the entire fundamentals, and then get into the contracting. I know the cases where people just out of college, they get into role of strategy, contracting, purchase, without having any knowledge of how the sites work. So at least one complete cycle of one project they should go through and then get into the specialized field. If somebody is interested in contracting or purchase or designing and so on and so forth. That way, your basics get clear. One most important thing again I want to tell you is, you rightly said, it's a pyramid. Not everybody can reach there, or but everybody can aspire to reach there. So the way to get there is you have to be visible. You cannot have blinkers on your eyes and say, okay, I'm looking at execution, I would look only at execution. I'm looking at design, I look at it. you should have a 360 wide angle when you look around things. You should, even if it's not your field or your function, you should get into other function just to learn. That's how you get 360 knowledge of the whole thing. And make yourself visible, be available for anything and everything. And you get noticed. People are there who observe you, they observe how you're functioning. And then you get picked up, and you go grow up the ladder. And one more thing, if you're mastered everything, and this is my favorite, that today if I say I don't do everything on my own. I delegate. But if I don't follow up, the delegation is worthless. So my key line is delegation is must, but follow up is the key.
Great. I think so. From this interview, I think we are just closing the interview. But before that, I would like to sum up the takeaway from the interview. That he spoke about the people management aspect, communication management, how to handle the risk management, what are the aspects to complete the project as per the timelines, and very important that to become the best to achieve that position where Mukesh ji has reached. What are the things you should do something differently so that you can also achieve that position? And this, I think, these are the some of the takeaways. Also, he mentioned about how to make use of the data which is getting generated effectively so that we can learn from that data and we can do a better job than what we are doing before. So I think that is the I also learned from this interview. And as you know, this show is meant for the all project professionals, and I'm sure you have gained a lot of insight from this particular I will not say interview, but the discussions which we had with Mukesh ji. And thank you so much for coming to our show. Thank you so much. Thank you.